Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 37 of the West Marches. Here we have with us Strippin, Pokket, Ello, and Adam. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Can I just point out how fucking tired JP sounded just then? That was fucking amazing. That's the first time I've heard him speak.
So, why would that be, Strippin? Why would JP be feeling tired at all today?
Because we played Total War Warhammer till like 6 in the morning. Mel was like 8 in the morning his time.
Damn. How many hours of Total War Warhammer did you play?
We played 24 in 2 days.
Good lord. Is it still fun? Are you still going to keep playing it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What army are you playing?
I'm the orcs, and he is the vampires.
Nice.
Leave it up to Warhammer to make something fun out of something that sounds like such bullshit. Like, yeah, I'm an army of orcs. These are my friend, the army of vampires. Like, if I had a vampire army, I just gotta tell you, Bretonia wouldn't be shit, right? Yeah, good old Warhammer. It's good to hear that it's a good game.
Yeah, is it doing well? It's not out yet, right?
I think it's out. Well, and God, like Sam's just asleep. Forget it.
Yeah,
we can
I
talk
know.
about it.
Go on.
It's cool. I mean, God knows that nobody's ever made a bad Warhammer game, though, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's
Never
impossible to do.
Are you being facetious?
Yeah.
Warhammer
Okay.
I'm
I was
also
gonna
has a
say.
reputation of making video games that are not as high quality as the player base would want. Let's say that.
Oh, man, all you gotta do if you want to be successful at video games is just get a really expensive IP and just make a game out of it.
That's all you have to do. All you have to do is make a game.
Yeah, it's easy.
Actually, so funny story. Possibly funny story. Potentially funny story. The first bug that we ever made for Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade was the task, make a game.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. We just sort of started
did you
like
get you couldn't even stick that one out. Hey, couldn't even check the first thing off the list, eh, Steven?
I know, right? Yeah, I just had to pull the eject cord. We just like passed it back and forth, assigning it to different people, and like had a long comment thread. I think this one relies on code, and code would assign it to design. Like, we need a little bit of design input on this. Yeah. Good
I think the last Warhammer game that I played consistently, like for a while, besides maybe like Vermintide, which I played for maybe a couple of days, was the MMO they released like forever ago.
Age of Reckoning.
Yeah, that was
Like
fun.
Which I used to love, like the live events and stuff. I thought was a pretty cool idea. I believe they were the first people to do like public events.
Public
like
questing,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't the
Might have
first,
been.
were they? They were the first to
Yeah.
really rely on it heavily, but it wasn't.
There may have been
Something
one or
else
two
came
before,
before.
but it wasn't done
I
as
think-
well. And it
Well,
wasn't-
that's
Yeah, I think they were the first to do it. Like, they did it heavily, and they
Yeah.
made it like really well done.
Yes.
in my
yeah,
opinion.
that's the thing about how like game development especially works, right? Like it doesn't matter who the first person to do a thing was.
Yeah,
The
it
first
matters
person
who the
people
first person-
remember, that's the one that counts.
The first person to do it well. Yeah, so like Age of Warhammer or Age of Reckoning like paved the way for Guild Wars 2, which was like the next refinement on top of that public quest system.
Yeah,
So,
or
super cool. Back when I was working on MMOs, I loved to like track features through MMO from MMO to MMO.
because you're a nerd, Steven.
I am a super nerd,
Fucking
especially when it
nerd,
comes
dude.
to MMOs. I remember like starting to play WildStar, and like right in the very tutorial area, you're running through like this bridge with these broken like capacitors or whatever, and there'd be these little expanding rings. And then when the ring hit its outer edge, it would explode with electricity. And of course, WildStar was like big on those like ground sort of avoidable areas. And I looked at that and I was like, oh wow, we did that in the Secret World like a year and a half ago, and then WildStar picked up on it. I don't know if we pulled it from somewhere else first. I feel like we did, but I know it was someone else on my team who came up with the idea to use those sort of expanding circles to like broadcast damaging areas. It's fun to like
you
track
heard it.
that
You
stuff.
heard it here first, kids. Steven Lumpkin, MMO hipster.
MMO hipster.
He liked
Neverwinter did
expanding
that.
ground effects before they were cool.
I think
Actually-
Neverwinter, the MMO, was probably the first that I saw that relied heavily
Yeah?
on more action combat than the I hit you, you hit me. I use an ability.
Yeah.
You hit me,
Well,
I hit you.
For me, it was
that kind of
Terra.
Yeah, well, which came out first? Was it Terra
Oh, yeah.
or was it?
I think
Neverwinter?
Terra came out
Terra
thing.
first.
Terra came out first, yeah. Yeah, I think
And-
Terra was probably there.
Terra was insanely fun. Still,
Yeah.
I know it had a lot of flaws, but the combat I thought was so fun.
My problem with Terra was like, I started out playing it and like it was cool, but you start with like one ability, and then by the level 5 you get like a second one, and then by level 10 you get like a third one.
Grind
and I was just
slow.
like, I don't want to play 20 hours of a boring game to get to the cool game.
Yeah.
It was a problem for me.
Totally with you on that one. I remember the day I quit was the day, I think I was like level 20 something, and I had I think a Slayer. I think that's the one with the big great sword. And there was this little whatever they're called, the Elins or whatever they are, like this little crazy lolly character running around.
Yeah.
And she was a healer, and I kept trying to hit her, but she just kept running around throwing these little heal bubbles down.
Yeah.
And I had to like time it perfect because there was like there's a delay in the swing. Like once you're locked in the animation, you were locked in it for that attack, and it was so easily avoidable. She just kept running around, healing herself, shooting me like once or twice, healing herself. And after like 5 minutes to 10 minutes of this and finally beating me, I was like, I'm fucking done with this game. Like I don't ever want to play anything that has to do with this game ever again. And I left and I rage quit and I was done.
Very nice. So
Steven, just before we move on, have you ever run 4th edition D&D?
Absolutely. Ran it for years.
Yeah, did you like it? For that reason, like building encounters and stuff?
For that thing, yeah, it's super cool.
That was my favorite thing about it too, is just being like, cool, I get to design 6 or 7 more World of Warcraft boss fights today.
Yep. I feel like that was like where I got my start building boss encounters, because it was really like, here are the roles that the monsters have. They have like taunts and like different sort of area effects and stuff, and it really felt like building a boss encounter for like an MMO. It was really neat.
Yeah, I like that about it too. I think it gets a bad rap for that very thing.
Well, like, I guess like people who played the D&D for different reasons, found that 4th edition didn't support what they wanted to do with their D&D as much.
Yeah.
And they were upset about that, but I don't know. I thought it was fun.
Agreed.
I was gonna ask Ella, what have you been playing recently, man?
Nothing all week. I haven't played shit.
Oh shit! What's been going on?
Oh no, Frontier decided to take over Verizon in our area in Tampa, and suddenly I fucking can't stream. It's been a great week. It's been wonderful. In fact, Monday I did a nice long my pacifist run through GTA.
Yeah.
Right, and that was
How far
awesome.
did you get?
I got like 20 missions done out of 70 the first day. Okay, so cool, awesome. Great day, raced $4,000, had some fun, was super drunk.
Fantastic.
And then I couldn't connect to Twitch. And I haven't been able to connect to Twitch all fucking week. And my upload is fucking throttled, and I can't get Frontier on the phone because everybody's pissed off with Frontier in my area.
Right, of course.
So everyone's fucked. But I do have some good news, because right before we got on the broadcast, I tested a side account and it connected to Twitch. So I will be able to stream starting tomorrow, which is awesome. But in the meantime, it's been like the most stressful, like relaxing week ever, because there really isn't anything I could do about it. So there's no reason to worry about it. I just kind of had to stay with Frontier and keep trying to fix it. But I played a lot of Battleborn off stream. Like a shit ton of Battleborn.
Are you enjoying it? That's the one that's very much like Overwatch, right?
Yeah, it's like Overwatch, Borderlands, Diablo is what kind of it is to me. I think the item system is super interesting.
That sounds like a really good description of a game that I would like to play.
It's way better than I thought it was. Now it definitely has flaws, and it's got some, like, there's some things in PvP that are really fucked up. Like you can sort of snipe the enemy boss from across the map.
Okay.
And there's like no way to stop them really, which is getting fixed apparently. But other than that, it's been a really fun time. So I've just been waiting for my internet to get fixed and talking to the internet service provider and playing Battleborn all week. But it looks like tomorrow I'm going to be able to jump back in with some more GTA. But now I'm kind of crunched for time. I've got GTA I got to finish in this event before Overwatch.
Yep.
Which is on the God.
Isn't there something happening Monday with Overwatch?
Well, Overwatch it's all releasing simultaneously, and if depending on where you live in the world, it might be Monday, it might be Tuesday.
Got it.
Yeah.
I am legitimately just super hyped for Overwatch. I've had
Me too.
I can't wait. We're gonna get like there's a couple of projects at the studio I'm working at Invisio. We're gonna get like our project, Roller Coaster Tycoon World, an Overwatch team together, and like play against the other big project on the studio. They're gonna get an Overwatch team together. I figure like we'll do that to determine which project gets funding.
yeah.
And set up an in-house
like
tournament.
Thunderdome. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to call
Sounds
Seagull
legit.
and like totally stack your team. Like, oh yeah, sure, he's in IT. He's just our ET guys. Yeah, whatever.
Definitely.
Right. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where the power plant gets a baseball team. You need to call up Daryl Strawberry.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's gonna be a really long stream. I think I'm gonna try to beat GTA all in like a day, and there's still like 50 missions left that I'm gonna have to complete tomorrow. And on top of drinking, there's like rules for drinking.
Oh yeah, no, you have like of course.
Yeah,
because it's like
so
anytime you have to kill somebody, you have to take a drink, right?
Yeah, and I have to donate $1 to charity.
Yeah.
And then we made up other stupid rules. It's stupid. It's so stupid, man.
That sounds great.
It's gonna be insane tomorrow. So that's what I'm gearing up for. What have you been, Steven? What's been going on with you, man?
Oh man, what has been going on? I don't know. I've been doing not a whole lot. I've been chilling out. I finished Bloodborne yesterday, or at least I finished it. I accidentally didn't do the thing to unlock the secret ending, right? So I didn't fight that last fight, unfortunately, and I didn't get the DLC. But now I'm like, shit, what do I play? Because there's Stellaris, sounds like it's really good. There's Doom, which sounds like it's fantastic. People are really talking about that a lot. What's the third one? Oh yeah, Dark Souls 3. I haven't touched yet, but I really want to. And now there's Total War Warhammer coming out, and I'm like, well, shit. There's so many good games that I should play and check out. Like, which one of them do I play? It's tough.
I'm actually playing Final Fantasy X.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
I'm playing the
Very
old
different.
JRPG action too. That's what I did. I was like, let's pick a game from a long ass time
I
ago.
haven't played Dark Souls 3.
What's that? What's that, Strippin?
I'm triggered. I'm full triggered. Like, why
Okay.
haven't you?
Because I wanted to finish Bloodborne first, man.
It's cool, Sam. Just like take some deep breaths. If you need to, like
Yeah.
get up, walk around
Save
a little
your
bit,
energy,
get a glass,
Sam.
get a glass of
Don't drop
water.
that.
It's okay.
That. Bumper
Just-
up.
Steven doesn't even know what a pickle pea is.
Nope,
It's
no
just
idea.
lost in him.
You don't know shit about Pumper Rump.
He's
You
gonna
don't know
learn.
shit.
He's gonna learn.
Someday I'll learn about all the what is it that you call them, Adam? I think you call them lumpkins.
Oh, the lumpkins. Yeah, the
Yeah.
game is full of fucking lumpkins. There's all kind of Steven Lumpkin bullshit in that game.
That's excellent.
You're walking
Actually,
along
like,
down a dark corridor and somebody's giant ass baby jumps on you and fucking sticks their tentacle down your throat and you're like, thanks, Steven.
yes, exactly. That's the deal, man. I've
Mhm.
actually been reading China Miéville's Perdido Street Station, which if you haven't read it, it's a super good fantasy book. But I'm like taking notes in a notebook, like 100 weird things from Perdido Street Station. Yeah, there's like some.
Have you read it before? Is this your
Yes.
first time?
Yeah,
Oh, you've
I've read it a
before?
couple
Okay.
of times.
Well, without spoilers, are you yay or nay on the ending?
I'm yay.
Yeah, me too. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think
it's divisive. It's a divisive ending, but
Well,
yeah.
it feels super. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that you like it because it's kind of nihilistic, right? It's like everything is shit.
Melville's interesting because I feel like he could afford to be a little less fuck you Tolkien. Like it feels like that's his
Yeah.
main jam in that book,
Yeah.
where he's just like, oh, I don't like elves and dwarves and stuff.
Yeah.
So you get ladies with bugs for heads. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because I'm cool and edgy. Plus, I don't know if you've ever seen a
Definitely-
picture. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of the guy, but he looks like a Marxist fantasy writer.
Yeah,
like
he looks like that. Yes.
like
exactly.
okay, China, take your eyebrow rings and go back to the typewriter, please.
There's an invisibility cloak in Harry Potter. And that is the closest thing that I've had to reading fantasy that I can relate to this conversation.
you, Elo.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Ella.
Harry Potter casts spells, and
Have an
sometimes
invisibility.
Look, Elo, don't get all pedantic on us, all right?
yeah, it's still you
Put it down.
guys he's getting these little these Stephen Adam conversations, and then I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna check out for a little while.
You would have to put up with this if somebody hadn't quit Swan Song like a baby.
Yep, exactly. No, Ello, you should be gleaning culture from these conversations, sir,
What was
and adopting books to read. Actually, you should go read them on stream, audiobooks with Ello.
Yeah, I should do 50 Shades of Grey first.
You can read about moths that shove their tongues in your throat and then drain your brain of dreams.
They're a metaphor
That's
for drugs.
way different than a Patronus. That's
It
not.
is very, very different from a Patron. Very good, Ello. You have made an apt comparison, sir. Well done. 10 points for contributing to the conversation.
Give it to Slytherin. They're my favorite.
Good, good.
I want to know what Pocket thinks of Final Fantasy X. And to answer the question that you asked last time, Steven, are you playing it in English or in Japanese?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm playing it in English, and oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It
Had you
is
played it
so
before,
bad.
Pocket?
I didn't. I played the beginning, so pretty much I don't know if I should. I mean, it's an older game. I can say like where I got to, right?
Totally.
I think the statute of limitations on Final Fantasy X has passed.
Okay. I played to the part where Yuna does the dance on the river or on the water,
Yep.
like which isn't very far at all.
Man, I
I
remember
thought
when
that
that
was far.
I remember when that cutscene was just like the hottest shit
Yep.
in
It was,
town.
like,
Like, just watching it and being
gorgeous.
like, and now it's like, it's pretty good, I guess.
It's so bad. The voice acting is so bad.
I
How do you
literally
get?
when I first got Final Fantasy X, like my brother was the guy who was really playing it. Like I watched the first cutscene, and I literally couldn't keep going. I was like, I'm sorry, it just hurts me so bad.
I think
I mean, it's still a fun game, and it's
Yeah.
you know the story's there. It's just really, really like so. It makes it so awkward watching, and you're like, oh god, this is like it hurts
Yeah.
right now.
I think it has probably my favorite soundtrack of the Final Fantasy games. Like I really, really like 10 soundtrack a lot.
Yeah, I really.
But it was
liked
kind of their first. It was their first try at doing a fully voiced game, right? So
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get it in with? How do you get it modded?
I think because it's on PC now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just some mod you
Probably
have
a
to
Steam
find and
mod,
download
yeah.
somewhere.
That would be great. That would be great. I need to do that because it's like this is almost ruining the story for me. This is how bad it is.
Maybe
Yeah.
someone in chat has a link. That's
I'm having some similar problems with. I'm playing Persona 4 Golden right now, and it's voice acting. The English voice acting's. Some of the characters are
Yeah.
pretty poor, but it's the price we pay, I suppose.
So far, like nearly everything I've fought has tentacles as well. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of Lovecraftian stuff with like sin in that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all like
really
it's like
cool, though.
water stuff, right? Because it's set
Yeah.
on like an archipelago. Yeah,
And they have underwater baseball.
I think it's more like underwater volleyball, soccer.
Yeah, like
Something.
soccer or something,
Soccer
Yeah.
ball.
which is fun.
Have you been playing that Blitzball minigame?
No, I don't like it.
Really?
No, I think it's. I
Blitzball.
hate it.
It's like
Blitzball
best
is the
part.
Gwent of that game.
But
My-
people love Gwent though, don't they?
No, I
My
mean,
favorite things,
I don't know what
like,
people like, but
well, I liked the card game in 8 and the Chocobo racing in 7, but I don't like Blitzball at all.
I remember, I don't know, I was never a big fan of it either, Pocket, but I feel like I've heard a lot of people who remember that part of the game specifically super fondly, and I'm always like, why?
Yeah. I don't know why I don't. I don't like it.
Stockholm Syndrome's a thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's also like in our generation, it's like as people started growing up and aging into their teenage years, there's always like a first Final Fantasy for everybody. And for me, that was 7, and for other people, it's 8, and for some people, it's 10. And like the first game like that you ever play, I think is just a huge impact because they are so like character driven and stories and all tied together, and they're super like high teenage drama.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't finish 10 when I was younger, and so it doesn't make me think that I would want to finish it now if I didn't finish it then. So I played 8 and loved 8. That was the first Final Fantasy, like later generation. Obviously, I played some of the first ones, but like Triple Triad was an amazing card game. Like that was a lot of fun in number 8. And then I played number 9. I beat it and thought, wow, this is really a shitty game, but I'll finish it. And I thought 10 might be good, and I was just like, this is shitty too. That's when I stopped playing Final Fantasy games. Like after 10. I
think
haven't touched one since. Except for 11. I played the MMO for a while, but we don't really count that one, do we?
I don't
10
think
was
we do.
actually bad, or not bad.
Of 8, 9, and 10, 10 is the better of the 3 for sure.
I like 8 a lot, actually.
I
I did
like
not
that.
like 9 at all, though.
I favor 8 over
I
the
feel
3.
like I feel like there's a generation gap or something happening here where like there are people aside from Wheat who just has bad taste. There are like people who I think it's really like you said, Steven. The first one you really attach to is the one you like. Like I played 6 is my favorite, but that's because I played 4, didn't really understand it. Then I played 6, and like it was the first game I kind of played all the way through as a kid and like really bought into. Most people, it's 7, right?
It was 7 for me.
Yeah, 7 for me.
8 would just like it was the first one that I never played number 7. I went right to 8, so that's very likely why I like it the most. But it kind of hit that like really teen angst, you know. I mean, was it Squall? I think his name is. He's like such a one-dimensional character. Like he's
Sam,
so,
did they have Final
worst.
Fantasy where you grew up, or did you just have like Mary Poppins?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, I think 8's terrible. I played all of them from 1. 6 and 7, 9 and 10 are the best 4, I think.
See, that's why I like you so much, Sam. I know I can count on you.
Wait. Okay, I'll say it. I'm not saying that 8 was a good game. I'm saying I enjoyed it the most.
Ah,
all right?
nice.
That's
important
distinction.
I'm just saying,
I know when I like things with bad taste, especially like 15-year-old me, who's like,
no, I thought 8 was great.
girls.
Whatever, man. 15-year-olds are good tastemakers. They know all.
7 will always be my favorite, but 8 was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it like switched its ultimate villain a little bit too often.
Yeah.
But then like 9, I like totally lost interest in, and it's like because I was like 14 or something at that time, and I was like, this like cartoony children's art style is just not cool. I'm way cooler than that now that I'm 14.
Yeah, I was right there with you too.
The sword
I like the
is
music.
also a gun.
Yeah, no, that's 8. 9 is the one with like the monkey boy and like the weirdly shaped everyone.
And the girl cut her hair, and I still don't know why. I still don't know why. No, number 8. I think the music. That was the first game that I ever got like the music from a video game. It was like, this is great, because I remember Eyes on Me, like that one song. I love piano, and I love like just kind of women singers, so it just kind of hit with me, and I just love that song. There's a couple songs from 8 that I liked a lot. But yeah, anyways, I digress.
Well, y'all, I think we should probably get started with some Dungeons and Dragons, don't you?
Yeah, we've only got, like 3.5 hours for me and Sam to get like 1,000.5 XP.
Yep,
and
exactly.
We got shit to get done.
Yeah, I need to kill everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah, I also do.
I think you're gonna have the opportunity for that, actually.
Brilliant.
So, what happened last time? Someone give me a recap. What did we do?
We set the stage.
We set the stage. In what way, Pokket?
To kill a lot of people.
To kill a lot of people. Why are you gonna kill a lot of people, Pokket?
Because of a dragon egg.
Absolutely. You met what's his name? Loranth.
Because I want a quiver. There you go.
Yes. Yes, there is a quiver in question, absolutely.
The real reason we got to kill everybody is because the more people we kill, the less people there are to kill us. So
that's true. You could just go on
numbers.
Over the
it's
entire
a numbers
world.
game. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And the more people you kill, the more levels up you get, so the harder it is to kill you. So you're just like
Dungeons
murdering
and
your
Dragons,
way up to
everybody.
level 20.
That's we got it. Exactly.
Absolutely. So yeah, you talked with Loranth, and he was very, very enthusiastic about the fact that you brought a dragon's egg and you want to hatch it. And he told you how. He said that dragons create this caldera, or this cauldron, or this crucible, and they bathe their eggs in flames and acids and poisons, their noxious breaths. And one by one, the eggs in their clutch wither, crack, and die under the forces generated by this foul treatment, until there's only one surviving egg left. And then the dragon will like fly over the surrounding countryside, inflicting high emotion on the populace, which generally historically has meant destroying as much as they can, and like using their great wings to beat the emotions into a froth that flows around the egg and suffuses it. Because dragons, like, they eat flesh and creatures, but that doesn't give them nourishment. It only gives them sustenance. So they'll survive, but they won't thrive. What they actually consume is emotion and terror and fear and lust and greed. And that's why they've got that association with all of these things. This reputation for destruction and violence comes from their base nature. So Loranth set out this sort of step-by-step of what we need to do. You guys need to find some sort of building, some abandoned building in the city to turn into your crucible. build a structure to bathe it in poisons and acids and fires or whatever you will. You need to enact some sort of great tragedy on the city itself, so that there's disaster in the streets, people's lives ruined, possibly. And then you need to hope that the egg reacts positively to all of this and hatches. So it sounded like what you guys were trying to set up was you were trying to heighten the tensions between two rival gangs of thieves. The one, Ilonus, and his group of thieves that you met at the Shrieking Wife. Is that what her name was? The tavern. And then the other, Dina, who's off in another district of the city, above a doctor's
the Rise
place in the Rise. Yeah. Let's see. Pull this map over here. Yeah. So you went off and you talked to Dina, and there was a counter threat made by Ilonus to Dina, where he had someone killed right on her doorstep. Tilly, remind me, did you grab the note off of that corpse, or did you leave it on it?
I believe I attempted to grab it, but I couldn't. I could only read it.
Yeah.
It serves our purpose. It serves our purpose better on the body anyway, right? Because if you take it away, then there's no message.
But she saw it anyway.
Yes, you got hooked up with Dina, and she gave you 3 doses, or 4 maybe doses.
Or she tossed me an extra one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I took one from Tilly.
And she told you to just get GTFO basically.
Yeah.
So Gallahan.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to see a scene where you and Loranth are just talking about dragons. Does it feel like it's right to open the session with that?
Oh, wait a minute. Also remember that I was going after the guy that took the key.
Yes, you were running after the guy. Because Tilly had stolen a key from a lockbox in the basement of the Shrieking Wife. It was some melted and grotesque, veiny black key.
I think that's where we faded.
Yeah, and you were chasing off after that. I do want to see that chase, but I want to fade in and do like a little bit of cutting back and forth, maybe.
Sounds good.
So, Gallahan.
Yeah.
Ilonus came to you. And I think he sent you a message privately. Some courier knocked on the door and said, "Oh, message for you, Mr. Gallahan, sir." Handed it to you directly, and it said, "Gallahan, meet me at my apartment. This evening at this time." Yeah, exactly, for romancing. Okay. And now you're there. So you're in the Garden District, which has all of this overgrowth that's taken over the entire place.
Okay.
It's rank and overgrown. There are doors hidden behind clinging vines, and You head past the Bloom, which is this massive structure deep in the heart of the District of Gardens that's carved into the body of the ancient tree. It's got all those vines all over it with those flowers that you guys saw being made into the shock sleep powder. And sort of up in a tower off to one side of it, there's this crooked and ancient tower that's built and rebuilt on itself many, many times over. There's all sorts of glass charms that are hanging outside the door, and you push your way in, and you hear Ilonus call you upstairs. And you march upstairs, and there's a massive glass-blowing kiln on one of the floors, and there's, huge bars of glass that he's clearly using for his glass working. You get up to the top, and there's a bedroom area, but it's in a large circular open room at the top of this tower. And he's sitting there at a desk, and on the desk there's just strewn piles and piles of papers and tomes and scrolls, and they all look both simultaneously ancient and valuable. The sort of thing that you would not usually expect anyone to have just lying around. And I think we see the sun descends in the horizon quickly, and night falls, and lights spring up on the table, and you and Ilonus are poring over one of these books, and he's reading from it. He reads to you, and he says, "Dragons are king beasts, lords of all creation. They thrive on destruction, destruction of lives, of worlds, of free will. They are elemental beasts of archetypal energy. Dragons are the bones and the sinew of the world. In the formless time before creation, dragons swam freely through the black. They opened their throats and sang songs of their own greatness, creating worlds that lived and died in a breath. When the gods stole the spell of creation from the choir of dragons, they twisted its words, and when they spoke, the black hardened into reality. The dragons, too, congealing into forms terrible to behold. Is this something that you know, Gallahan?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because my faith is based on the concept of their ethereal forms, while they were formless.
Yes. You worship Bahamut. Yeah, Bahamut. Yeah. So the religion of Bahamut is the religion of these elemental formless dragons that swim through the void and sing songs of creation. So what does that worship take form for you?
Just there's boundless power out there.
Yeah.
And it can be utilized for good or evil.
Yeah. When you... He kind of looks at you and he says, Gallahan, in you, I see a man who is dedicated to a cause, a man who carries himself with righteousness and with purpose. Tell me now, what is your purpose on this world, Gallahan?
Gallahan kind of plays with his beard, and he thinks to himself. He says, my whole life I've served the formless, and I think it's only right that now I serve the formed.
He nods. He says, is this something you are willing to do? There is great tragedy ahead for many, but also great victory for a few.
He kind of nods, and he says, man is a small speck in the grand scheme of the world. Doing good for a dragon far outweighs doing bad to man.
He nods and smiles, his sunken cheeks shrinking back into a rictus grin. He says, yes, Gallahan, you and I, we are kindred spirits. And then he opens his mouth, and it's like his mouth opens wider than a normal man's mouth, and his throat sort of bulges out. And you hear this primal sound echo forth, consonants and crushing noises and roaring bellow out of his mouth. And he smiles at you, and he says, it is the ancient dragon speech, the song of the world itself. I have learned a very few words. We will need to sing to the egg as it hatches, to imprint upon the beast its genetic memory. And then we wipe over, and we see Darius, and you're sprinting down an alleyway.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So I think, just ahead of you, you see this cloth-wrapped thief just sprinting down the alleyway. He looks behind you. He's clutching this thing to his chest. He looks behind you, and his eyes widen as he sees you hunting after him. What do you look like when you're doing this?
Just very focused. No emotion shown. I already have my bow drawn.
Yeah.
And if he stops, I'm gonna fire at him.
Okay. He's definitely still running, but he's actually jumped up onto the corner of a building where you've got bricks that are sort of offset like a Jenga tower or something like that, and he's kind of climbing up them. Did you want to take a shot?
Yeah.
Go ahead, roll it up. 2166, huh? Oh yeah, no, definitely. Your arrow thuds straight into his shoulder, and he lets out a shriek. Ah! let's see. He'll make a saving throw to see if he drops that key or not. Oh yeah, no, totally. He drops the key, but he climbs back. He keeps climbing up to the top of the roof, and he ducks out of sight.
I grab the key and turn to walk back. I don't even bother going after him.
Yeah. All right. You rush forwards to grab the key, and oh shit! From over the edge of the roof comes a flask of some sort, some clay pot comes flying over the edge of the roof, and it splashes and shatters, breaking on the ground next to you. And you just smell like a thick, noxious fume scent assails your nostrils.
He's throwing his pee at you. Run!
Yeah. And it burns in your nose when you smell it, but it misses you completely. It shatters on the ground probably 5 feet from you. Are you just gonna like run away?
I'm gonna just try and get away from it as fast as possible. I'm gonna cover my mouth if I can, like with my arm or something, and just try to get away from the smell.
Yeah, absolutely. Tilly, Grigori, when you saw Darius go running after this guy, what did you do?
I wasn't there, man. I was back at the house. It was just Tilly.
Yeah, that's true. You and Gallahan were waiting because it's sort of like progressing to evening, and you all were going to go to the abandoned flop house in order to set it up.
I'm waiting for Darius and Tilly to come back and tell me whether it's actually abandoned before I like start throwing money around.
Yeah. So Tilly, what did you do when you saw Darius go running off? Are you speaking?
Sorry about that. I had muted myself.
Yeah, okay, got it.
I think Darius can handle himself, so I just tried to look as nonchalant leaving the rise as possible. I didn't want to look like I was in any kind of rush or anything like that. So I'm going to head out and go to the garden area. And once I get to the garden area, I'm just going to kind of chill there for a second and see if Darius shows up in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So, Darius, what language
she's gone, actually. Call dropped.
Uh-oh. Damn. Who runs the call? Can we just add?
Yeah, if JP just adds her back in, we're fine.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's see. While we're waiting for Darius to reconnect, yeah, Tilly. So you're just heading back home. Back to the.
I was just heading to the garden area. Just get out of the rise so that any peeping eyes will not see me like looking crazy rushed or anything like that. But once I get to the garden area, I'm gonna start kind of like trying to find Darius as best I can.
Yeah, why don't you you're trying to like sneak away, basically, trying to be unseen. Why don't you roll
I'm not trying to I'm trying to sneak out of the garden, but I just want to kind of appearances that I'm leaving nonchalantly, like it doesn't matter to me.
Absolutely. Roll the better of either your deception or your stealth.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Like you stick to corners, and you manage to get away pretty easily. As you're leaving, you see a group of 3 individuals walking towards you. They're not like looking at you or anything like that. They're just walking down the street in the center of the street, and everybody parts as they start passing. They're all wearing long, dark robes, and their robes are all like they're knit and bundled in ways that make them sort of fold on themselves in ways that you're not used to, and your eye has a hard time seeing. They sort of seem like their edges sort of seem to bleed off of them, and it makes it hard to focus on them in the waning afternoon light. The first one carries like a massive iron staff, and this iron staff looks like it's been subjected to the same kinds of forces that the key was subjected to. It's all warped and melted and twisted. It almost looks like the running metal down the sides of it have created like veins running down the side of this staff.
Okay.
A lot of veins.
Definitely.
What was the name of the entity that Loranth exclaimed something once and was like by somebody? What was the name of that person?
I think you were talking about the
Nearanth
cathedral, Nyanth.
Nyanth, that's the one. Yeah, no, because he said by Nyanth or whatever at some point.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and he also, I think it was Ilonus who suggested meeting Loranth at the cathedral to Nyanth, and then you, Grigori, were like, "No, we're not going to do that. That's some bullshit." All right, Darius.
Yes.
You're moving back along the alleyway, and you hear from behind you.
Point.
Yeah, you're running back down the alleyway, and you hear from behind you something shouted in some strange language. It's all guttural and strange vowels that your mouth would not be used to forming. What do you do?
I try to go into stealth.
Okay, roll.
Find it. Oh.
Ooh. Okay, so yeah, you press yourself against the walls of these alleys, and there's like refuse everywhere and big sort of like barrels that are sort of half rotten and broken open, and piles of ruined cloth, things like that. Let's see, you're in the flop house. Yeah, I think it's like the most common sort of business here is taverns or inns. So there's like big crates of like rotten foodstuffs or just, you know, the detritus and trash from inns and things like that all along the alleyway. And you see down at the end of the alley, 3 people turn the corner. One of them is carrying a big iron staff. It's all melted and ripply, and the 2 of them next to him they're all wearing these sort of flowing robes that make your eyes slip off of them in very strange ways. Let's see.
Man, I want to know where I can get some non-Euclidean robes.
Yeah, right? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the center guy, this man with the large staff, he points directly at you, Darius, and he says, "I think you have something of ours, child. Give it here." Gallahan, what are you up to here in the evening with Loranth as this conversation about the nature of dragons is drawing to its close?
You're muted.
Sorry. With Loranth, like, what am I thinking?
Yeah, like how are things going with this conversation with him?
They're going good, and I'm absorbing the knowledge he's providing me, but at the same time, I'm like questioning now his character and his ambitions.
Yeah.
Because he keeps talking about imprinting on the dragon and stuff, and I'm like, nah, it's my dragon.
Do you want to make an insight check to get more information about his feelings?
Yeah. So, like, let's just say I'm, like, probing him with vague questions. Okay.
Or just probing him.
Yeah.
8. Yeah, you know, he seems... You can't really get a read on like what his ultimate goal here is, right? He's being very open with you. He's actually like he's got all of his books and sources open, and he's pointing to the places where it like he's pulled out a couple of books and he's showing you the passages that talk about the breeding habits of dragons and how like they create these massive caldera that they sort of either they either melt stone into cauldrons that they lay their clutches into, or they like some dragons will exude like hard sort of fibrous masses that form this kiln basically. And then it goes on to talk about how the dragons will, you know, ravage the surrounding lands, and their wings will like sweep up emotion into this vortex that flows around the eggs, and how like it looks like there are actual like transcriptions of songs in ancient Draconic that the dragons sing to them. Is there some sort of like research skill? Lol, no. Let's find something for you to roll to see if you can like find more information from these books.
Can I read these Draconic songs?
No, actually, they're like you get a general sense, but it's like reading Middle English, right? It's like it's really weird words, and like the vowels are all different. So it's
fucking dialects, man.
Yeah, it's a dialect of the language that you know, but it's much, much older.
One of the languages you can roll randomly on a basic D&D character is human dialect, which is just like the stupidest language you can get.
Yep.
Yeah, you speak, I don't know, French. You speak Basque.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be an intelligence check. So go ahead and just give me an intelligence check, Gallahan.
All right.
5. Yeah, like you're looking at these books and your eyes just kind of glaze over because this guy is just a big nerd. But in actuality, like he seems like he's being very forthcoming with the information that he's giving you, and he's showing you all the original sources.
Right.
That he gained his information from. Like, are there any like memories that all of this is stirring up for you? Is there anything? Is there any conflict in your heart, or is it all just like is your purpose hardening into a crystalline form?
He's kind of deliberately pushing it to the back of his mind, like the way his moral compass is changing.
Yeah.
To get this egg hatched.
Yeah.
Because before he's been like humans were his end goal, like save mankind from evil, but now he's realizing that a lot of mankind are just evil.
Yes, they can't be saved.
So now it's like, all right, well, maybe I just save the strong, and I do that by becoming stronger. So I'm just gonna listen to this dude try and get this dragon hatched.
Yeah. I think probably towards the end of the evening, as things are sort of winding down, he makes some reference again, and he says, "She will be so pleased with us, Gallahan, with the work that we've done. She will reward us for our efforts." And you've heard him mention "she" a couple of times, right? Are you curious about that at all?
I mean, he's a paladin of Bahamut. He's got to know who she is.
Do you ask?
I have a hunch.
Yeah?
I believe he's referencing Tiamat.
Yeah?
Clearly, obviously, that's what's happening.
But
Okay.
I will ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I like
bring it up.
I'm trying to think of a way I can word it without just straight up being like, "Who is she?"
Yeah.
Think about every girl you ever wanted to talk to but couldn't.
Right.
And we know how to ask about her without asking about her, okay? Come on.
Strippin's out of practice on that one.
Yeah. I don't know how. I'm just gonna fucking ask him. Who's
Why
she?
don't you roll like a diplomacy check?
All right. Diplomacy.
Do you have a diplomacy? Persuade, maybe?
Whatever it's called in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's persuade. Yeah,
persuasion.
Persuasion. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, you ask, you bring it up in a fairly reasonable way, or something like, you've mentioned she a number of times. Are you referring to the great god Tiamat? And he looks at you and he sort of like turns his eyes and he says, "No, Tiamat, she is great and worthy of our worship, the goddess of dragons as they are, of calcification and greed. No, Gallahan, I refer to she in the egg, Olothuruisk, the ever-living dark. Do you not know, my friend? We have so much to teach you." And he opens another book.
Bahamut be keeping that secret knowledge from you, dude.
Yeah?
Oh, shit, bro.
And
Yeah, I just plant my butt on the chair.
He opens another book and he sort of like points to a page where there's like an image of a dragon, and then it's sort of like diving down into an egg and then bursting out of the bottom of the egg in even more elaborate form. And he says, dragons, they are immortal creatures. When they die, their consciousness flows back into the eggs of their clutch. She lives on. She is ancient and immortal. You will return her to this world. And he looks at you just with this grin on her face.
Galahad's kind of okay with it because
Yeah.
it's gone from like a dragon he potentially has to rear to like a being that he doesn't have to protect
Yeah.
in a way. He just has to get it hatched.
It's going to be conscious and awake when it comes out of the egg. An ancient entity. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Getting the knowledge bombs.
Pocket.
But how is that gonna? Honestly, real quick, how's that gonna be? How are you gonna ride this thing? Like, is it like you think it ancient? Like, the whole purpose of this is so that you have like this crazy good mount to ride. Like, how is this? Like,
Don't
if I was a
worry.
god, I would not have some mortal on my back. Like, go here, go there.
Everything will be fine. Everyone just stay
I'm
calm.
just like, what the fuck, man? What are we
Look, the
gonna do?
plan's just rolling down the hill. We can't dictate where it goes. We just gotta follow it.
It's time. That ball is already going. Nice. Pocket, this priest gestures at you with its large iron rod. It points at you. It says, "You there, boy. I believe you have something of ours." How do you respond?
I take a moment and I like point to myself and I look around. I'm like, boy.
Yeah, he
And then-
nods. He says, "Yes, you, dandy boy."
You just see, and I just laugh, and I've at that point I've already like slipped the key like up my sleeve or something, trying to hide it, and I'm like, something of yours. And I start feeling around, and I bring out the packet or the little bag of the sleep dust cocaine stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this was mine. We bought it. He took it from me, and I just had to run his ass down and get it back. You know,
Got
crazy
it. All right.
junkies.
Listen, I want you to make 2 rolls, but I don't want to show them because we're going to go to a break. I want you to roll a sleight of hand, and I want you to roll a persuade. And then when we come back, we'll see what the result is of your checks.
Okay. Did I roll it now?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh God.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yep. Right. All right. That's very interesting. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5 minutes with a little bit more of week 37 of the West Marches, and we'll find out what happens.